I'm Harrison Graham. This is Chicago Bears Now. Ben Johnson had his Monday press conference, sounded off on several topics, including doubling down on his post-game kind of antics, mannerisms, whatever you want to call it, after the Bears beat the Packers at Soldier Field in the divisional round. He was asked about it, and this is what he said. He said, "This is a rivalry. The city of Chicago and Green Bay, it needs to be a rivalry. There's a rivalry that exists between these two teams, something that I fully recognize and am a part of. I don't like that team. George McCaskey and I have talked, and we're on the same page." And I personally think this is how it should be. Now, we can debate certain little things. Should the handshake have been a little less frosty? Perhaps. There's a lot of emotions going on there. First playoff win as a head coach. Bears haven't won a playoff game in 15 years. Like I think there's a lot of things happening in that situation. Everybody freaking out and going PC on the why is he saying F the Packers in the locker room? I saw a lot of Lions fans saying that. It's like, I think you're coping because you lost Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell hired the wrong guy as OC. But, people could have different opinions. I'll say this. I would rather have this guy lean into this rivalry than this. Remember when Matt Eberflus and Matt LaFleur sat courtside together at a Marquette basketball game? I don't want my coach hanging out with the Packers head coach, chopping it up and sharing popcorn. That's not what I want. It's okay to be old school and be like, hey, we're the Chicago Bears. They're the Green Bay Packers. We fucking hate those guys. They hate us. And that's how it is. And that's how it should be. Doesn't mean there can't be, some level of respect there for who Matt LaFleur is as a coach and from his side who Ben Johnson is as a coach and all of that. But it's like these big college rivalries. If I'm an Auburn fan, I freaking hate Alabama. That's how it should be. Like we don't have to make this more than what it is. He didn't do anything criminal. He didn't do anything crazy. Again, could the handshake have been a slightly more calm moment? Perhaps. But again, there's a lot of emotions flying after that crazy comeback in your first playoff win as a head coach. I have no problem with it. And in fact, I like him even more that he came in on Monday, and he easily could have been like, hey, I just wanted to get it out there that I have a lot of respect for Matt LaFleur and what he's done in Green Bay. And instead, he's like, guys, this is a rivalry. Like, I'm part of this rivalry. I've talked to the owner. We're all on the same page. Next question. So I actually appreciate that he's sticking with his authenticity. Like, don't be fake and like backtrack and release some bullshit statement that you don't believe in. So I'm a fan of it. Rivalries are important in sports. It's part of the fandom and why we all enjoy this so much. And the rivalry is back. And it's kind of flipped here, which is really, really exciting. All right, if you hate the Packers as much as Ben Johnson, if not more, get the FGBs going down in the comment section, and let's keep this rivalry going because it makes it a lot more fun. All right, Ben Johnson also spoke on the next opponent, which, of course, is led by Sean McVay, Matt Stafford, who he overlapped with in Detroit as well. He was asked about his affinity for the Rams head coach, and here's what he had to say. He said, quote, he does a phenomenal job. All of his teams are well prepared. There's no doubt that he's super sharp on the offensive side, but how he does it as a head coach, bringing all three phases together, is really critical to their success. There's a reason why they're in it, talk about in the playoff mix, every year. And yeah, I mean, McVay's been one of, if not the best coaches in the league since he took over the Los Angeles Rams. 9 years, almost 100 wins. He's made the playoffs, I think, in 7 of 9 years, 6 or 7 of 9 years, 9-5 in the playoffs, won a Super Bowl, got to another one. He's won the division 4 times, and that's been one of the toughest divisions in the league since he's been there. There's no question. He's one of the best coaches in football. And look, Sean McVay and Ben Johnson are very similar in a lot of ways in terms of sharp, smart, creative offensive minds that can also, capture a locker room. McVay's just been doing it longer, right? He's got more skins on the wall. He's won a Super Bowl. It's no surprise at all to hear Ben give him his flowers because he's one of the staples of this league. He's one of the best head coaches, if not the best, in the NFL right now. So it's the next challenge. It's going to be a challenge, and I think Ben's looking forward to the challenge because we always talk about, players talking about matchups, wanting to get the better of their counterpart. I think these coaches are very similar in that as well. And why do you think Ben has leaned into this Packers Matt LaFleur thing so much? A, because it's a rivalry and he's leaned into that, but B, like he's confident that he's better than Matt LaFleur. So I promise you, he is excited about the opportunity of knocking off Sean McVay and the Rams this weekend. I'll tell you what he said about Matt Stafford here in just a moment, but we got to talk about our sponsor first. That is PrizePicks. Whether you're starting a new routine or making player picks for the first time, trying something new can be hard, but in life and on PrizePicks, it always feels good to be right. With high-pressure playoff matchups every weekend and elite hoops action almost every night, the action never stops, and PrizePicks lets you take control. Find your community on PrizePicks. With the new social feeds feature, you can share PrizePicks with your friends and copy lineups from winners with a single click. Copy lineups you like or use them as inspiration for your own picks. You can even follow PrizePicks partners like us. You can search me at HGramNFL and tail or fade my picks with just one click. You pick more or less on 2 to 6 player lineups and the stat projections available, and including this for a little Monday night action. I took less on CJ Stroud's passing yards. It's going to be chilly. I think it's going to be a tough environment in Pittsburgh. I also took less on DK Metcalf's receiving yards. Hasn't played in a couple of weeks, so could start out a little bit slow. And then I like Nico Collins to find the end zone more than half a rushing or receiving touchdown. That is a demon play, tougher to hit, so that increased the payout if I hit it. $20 entry to win $150. Check it out today. Download the PrizePicks app right now. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Okay, Ben Johnson also talked about Matthew Stafford. I think we forget they overlapped in Detroit. Now, Ben was not his play caller. Ben, I think, might have been like quality control coach the first year, and then maybe tight ends coach. Because remember, he was a carryover from Matt Patricia's staff. Dan Campbell kept him. So they overlapped for 2 years in Detroit before Stafford was traded to Los Angeles. Here's what Ben had to say about Stafford. He said, I have so much respect for that guy, the ultimate competitor. He's one of the more supremely talented throwers of the football that I've ever been around in my life. He's outstanding. He's a great teammate. But what I think is second to none with him is toughness, physical toughness. This guy has gone through a lot, yet he finds a way to be on the field for his teammates. When you look at him from a competitor standpoint, this is a really good player. He's going to will himself to helm his team out the most. And yeah, you just watch him play, and especially his early Detroit games, I mean, he would just get killed early in his career. But even now, like with the way he plays, he wants to live in the pocket. He doesn't move much anymore. He will hang in there that extra half tick and take a shot to deliver a throw. It happens every week. I mean, he takes 3 or 4 big hits a week because, unlike a lot of quarterbacks, he doesn't move that well anymore. And B, you watch, like, I'll compare to like Aaron Rodgers at this stage in his career. Rodgers is not hanging in there taking those hits. He'll either just throw it away or kind of duck down, do the old Peyton Manning sack where you kind of just go to the ground. Stafford will take a shot to the chin. So I've always respected him because of that. Going back to Detroit as well, I mean, he was really the only good thing about that franchise for a long time. And obviously you get him with Sean McVay. It's worked out really well. So it's going to be a challenge. If you're the Bears, I mentioned it in the preview, you got to find a way to get him off his spot and make him uncomfortable because, he's not Caleb Williams in terms of escaping and making crazy throws on the run. Like if you can generate some pressure or force him to throw the ball earlier than he wants, then the timing can get thrown off. And we know a lot of this offense and the way Stafford plays is very predicated on throwing with rhythm and timing. So that's the challenge for Dennis Allen this week, and we'll see if the Bears are able to kind of impact his game at all. Thank you guys so much. We crossed 152,000 subscribers over the weekend, and we're already almost at our next milestone, 153,000. So if you want to support the channel and take down the Rams report and new subscribers this week, by the way, hit that subscribe button, free and daily content. We got you guys covered. All right, let's talk a little weather. There's some early weather forecasting predictions out there from meteorologists, of course, and it could be one of the coldest games in the history of Soldier Field, depending on what happens with the weather as the week goes on. This is from Windy City Weather and News, saying time not yet confirmed. Again, as we're filming this, we don't know if it's 2 or 5:30 on Sunday in terms of kickoff, but Not going to be warm weather, California weather for the LA Rams coming to town. The model blend wind chills near 0 degrees or even below 0 if we get the early game. Could be the coldest playoff game ever played in Chicago. Right now, the coldest one ever is 2 degrees in 2008, which is not only the coldest playoff game, but also the coldest game ever at Soldier Field. Actual air temperatures also forecast in the single digits, so that should rank in the top 10 coldest game all time. And right now, I checked 40% chance of snow. Yesterday, it was 0% precipitation. Now 40. So we'll see if that increases or decreases as the week goes on. The Bears are pretty used to this by now. They've played in a lot of cold games this year. I mean, that Giants game, it was snowing. Browns game, it was negative wind chill. The other night compared to what LA has played this year, the wind chill was like 15 degrees. The coldest game the Rams have played in this year is in the 40s with wind chill at like 38, 39, and that might have just been the game yesterday against the Eagles. So, look, Matt Stafford's played in a lot of cold games in his career. He's got a strong arm, but to me, the worse weather, the better if you're a Bears fan, because we know Caleb Williams can play in weather with his mobility, his arm strength. In theory, the Bears can run the ball well. They have not the last couple of weeks, but they've been one of the better rushing attacks all year. So if I'm Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen, bring on the weather. That is what I would be hoping for. At minimum, we know it's going to be cold. The question is, how windy does it get to drive down that wind chill and potentially impact the passing game? Plus, what does the precipitation look like? Do we get any showers? Does it snow at all? Those are all up in the air at this point. But to me, that would be a benefit, especially with Matt Stafford, who doesn't move that well anymore. And he does have a sprained finger. He's going to be okay, it sounds like. But may not be 100% gripping that football and spinning the rock, which we know how capable of that he is. So any little thing helps. So bring on the cold. Do you guys want a snow game? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm always down for a little snow globe action. So bring on the snow. That's a little less likely compared to it just being cold. But, I would like to see it snow on Sunday afternoon or evening. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Chicago Bears Now. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We got content all week long leading up to Bears Rams on Sunday, so stay tuned.